Good morning. Boo. There. We got our Halloween out of the way. Hey, everybody. Hi. It's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You're in our situation room, and it's October 31st, 2024. I hope you have a wonderful, safe, and happy Halloween. What fun. My shirt says, forget fabric. I'm sorry, forget candy. Just give me fabric. Forget fabric. Blasphemy. Fredo's here. Fredo's here. Let me go get these. We're going back to Dave Biscuits tomorrow, Fredo. Come over here. Come over here. Oh, she's jumping around. She's jumping around. What a good girl she is. You've ignored me all morning. All morning you've ignored me. Yes. But you know you get a treat when I start, don't you? Good girl. Good girl. You're getting lots of little treats. Well, it's Halloween. You want one more to grow on like you need it? It's Halloween. Okay, you can have an extra little treat. There you go. That's it. All right. No mas. All done. I'm going to put them away. You got to say trick or treat in order to get your candy. This is our situation room where you follow me on my stitching journey, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. I hope you guys are having a great day. It's going to be a beautiful day here in South Texas. So, oh, good. All right. We got lots of dogs that are paying attention to treats. Today is Embroidery Thursday, and I thought I would do something a little different. This time, I'm usually using my single needle Brother Luminaire XP3. And I thought today I would use the multi-needle. For those of you that have a multi-needle, I know I didn't use mine for probably the first 3 months after I got it. I just kind of stared at it and I wasn't real sure what. I was really intimidated by this machine, and I'm one of those people. I go in feet first and say, how hard can it be, right? But I watched some videos on it. I had taken a Craftsy class from Deborah Jones. And that one was all about your multi-needle. And I just watched it and I thought, okay. And then I watched a video. Oh, young lady worked for a sewing store and she showed how to thread it. And so that gave me kind of the confidence to get some thread in the thing. And then I tell you what, the first time I turned it on and it started going, it frightened me. I was just like, what's it doing? They take a little getting used to, but they are a phenomenal tool in your sewing room, a power tool with thread in your sewing room. So I thought I would, his name is Spanky. Okay. The Luminaire's name is Darla. Some of you are old enough to recognize those references. I was talking to my granddaughter last night on FaceTime. She's 10, and I referenced Darla and Spanky, and it just right over her head. So we are heading back to Houston later this morning. I will be there this evening, just in the RV park, just to get set up and whatnot again. And then tomorrow morning starts Houston Quilt Festival with the public. So if you are going, I have got a post on my blog, powertoolswiththread.com. And it says, let's get together. It's the very first post on the page. Just click that title and the post will open up and there's a schedule in there. You can download it, print it, or just take a picture of it with your phone. That may help a lot too. So I am sitting here looking at the chat. You have a 6-needle, Patsy, and you rarely use it. They are intimidating. They are intimidating. It takes a special, they think differently than a single needle. And, but this one, the Brother Entrepreneur Pro, which is the 10 needle, is this close to being a commercial machine. You can actually daisy chain these machines together and you can do multiple heads at one time if you wanted to. So these are designed for, if you're going to have a business, it will pay for itself in no time. I've got a friend of mine, Lorena's Quilting. She's in Shirts, Texas, and she's got she has a brother, I think, and 2 of the Baby Lock versions, the identical machine. And she is the primary go-to for embroidery for the local sports teams. So she does dance team bags with their names and their little logo and all of that. She does baseball jerseys and the caps. This one comes, I don't know if it comes with it. I think it might be an extra purchase, a cap frame for these things. I hate doing caps. Hate it. Especially the Richardson. The other ones are not so bad, but the Richardson 112s that everybody likes with that really high brim and the seam in the middle, embroidery machines don't like those at all. So anyway, I'm just kind of glancing at the chat a little bit. I'm not really getting into it a whole lot. I did something really efficient for this particular Embroidery Thursday. We are going to be stitching the Dog Mom, Dog Dad mug rugs by Kimberbell. And I've got a link below in the description box to not only the Kimberbell, it comes as a kit. It's a physical kit that you get. It has the pleather and the little fluffy paw print stuff. I don't remember what they call that. And it's like a little fleece, kind of, I don't know, anyway. And then they've got all the fabric that you need, the stabilizer, and the batting. It all comes in one with the CD and the instructions from Kimberbell. I am going to make them both at the same time. Now, while Spanky's doing his thing and stitching these things out and doing whatever he needs to do, I can show you on my laptop how I did that. And it's called color sorting. And it's a pretty easy thing to do once you understand how the embroidery machine thinks. So you color sort in your software on your computer, save the file, and then take it to your embroidery machine. And your embroidery machine sees it all and says, oh, okay, I got this. I know what I'm doing. Now, the thing that you have to do with the multi-needle is to tell it when it needs to stop. So that's the biggest difference between a single needle and a multi-needle. A single needle is going to stop at every single color stop. Sometimes it's the same thread. Sometimes it's a different thread color, but it's going to stop and you have to press go and tell it to go again. Okay. That's the biggest brain difference between the two. But basically the processes are all the same. So if you're stitching on a single needle this morning, I will go over how to hoop with a single needle because this is beginner friendly. Okay. And it's not chenille. No, Chris, I forget what they call it. Anyway, it's kind of fuzzy on one side and it's not on the other. It's a poly something. I can't remember. Anyway. So I'll look in the instructions. It'll tell me what it is in the instructions. But on the multi-needle machine, when you put a design in there and hit go, it's just going to go. It's just going to stitch every single one of them. And if you've got applique like we do today, it won't stop unless you tell it to stop. So you've got to think like the machine when you're going through and assigning thread colors to the project because it's got 10 spools on the back of the machine. So I'm going to change the threads and show you how I do that. And then it's going to go ahead and give you, I'm going to go through how it thinks, and I'm going to go through each color stop and tell it when to stop and then tell it when to go. The beauty about, let me get this, the real beauty and where so like if you're doing a business, the odds of you doing applique are very small. Applique is usually for home hobbyists, usually. If you're doing projects for a school or a troop or whatever, usually those are straight embroidery. Maybe you're making patches, whatever it is that you're doing. So in this instance, where yesterday I finished up the trees, this is the last block for Believe. Isn't this adorable? This is a Designs by Juju. This is block number 4 of the wall hanging. And I left it in the hoop so that I can show you guys how to use the trimmer by George and why you need one of those. And yes, I have a link to it below. If you would use my link, I appreciate it very much. Helps out the family biz, right? So I used glitter vinyl Look at those trees shine and shimmer. Aren't they beautiful? Yes, thank you all. I appreciate the comments. And I also used metallic threads. I used King Star metallic threads from Designs and Machine Embroidery. So they have just put out a brand new Christmas bundle. I've got a link to Dime below as well. So there is the green, the gold, a white. Is that a white? It's like a really, really light silver, and the red. Gotta love it. You're going to get beautiful Christmas embroidery. This is King Star Metallic Holiday Quartet. You'll love this. And it's in time. They just put it out. You can get it in time to make your holiday projects. So I also used glitter vinyl. They have glitter vinyl and King Star that come in a kit. So you can get vinyl and King Star together in their little bundles too. So you can get just thread or thread and the glitter vinyl together. All right. So let's see this. Let me see. I can show you. Where did they go? Here's the piece. Whoop. You can see which pieces I used for my trees. So there's the green and there's the lighter lime green. Very, very pretty, very fun, very easy to do. Now, I did not iron it. All right. I just pulled back the sheet, the plastic sheet, and held this down. I taped it down because I don't want my fingers near the needles, you guys. Don't put your hand in the embroidery field, especially with a multi-needle, because you never know. That thing's moving back and forth constantly. Very, very dangerous. So anyway, and I just let it do its thing, and then I trimmed it out, and it was fine. Now, I did use the tack down stitch on these because the final stitch was that nice wide satin stitch. This thing has more embellishments than anything else, all the other blocks. I also did use 4 different Designs by Juju quilting backdrops to quilt these and get them all pretty. And I'm going to show you right now how to cut them out. So also when I used this, I gotta tell you what happened here. So when I was doing this, right now I have this pretty green metallic thread over these light trees. I had originally chosen a regular 40 weight embroidery thread, just a plain regular embroidery thread to do around the outside. And it didn't really give me the effect that I wanted. And so I needed to go ahead. Does the dime glitter fall off and get all over everything? No, it does not. I love that. It's got little flecks that are stuck to the plastic the sheet, but no, I don't have glitter all over me. I hate that stuff. I won't have it in my room. I won't have glitter in this room ever. I can't afford to get glitter all over my fabric. Good grief. So, what I ended up having to do was to take that stitching out on this first tree. If you're ever going to be working on the back of one of these hoops, you want to get something that is called they have these wool mats. See how thick this one is? This is for the multi-needle. So it's very thick, okay? And what it is designed for you to do, it's wool so that you can iron it. If you need to iron, you can on these. But it's designed for me to lay this upside down in it. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to turn my camera so that you can see what I'm doing. I might bring you guys up a little bit because, let me see here. Now, Betty Boop also has the same machine, you guys. She knows what she's talking about with this thing. Let me put this down. So if you have any questions and she answers you, she's got the exact same machine. So now I've got this upside down and it can handle the bend in the hoop. And it's going to give me a nice firm surface. And I was able to take my little scissors and trim away in the bobbin threads. And this is how you remove stitching on an embroidery. If you ever have to remove stitching, you do it from the back. Don't do it from the front. You might ruin your project. So I just went through and ripped out all of this nice white bobbin thread on this triangle. And was it that one? Yeah. And then just scraped the front with my fingernail and it all came up. But I used this hoop to do it. Otherwise, If you don't have this here, when you go to do something on the back, you've got play in it, all right? And you don't want that, because what can happen is you can release some of the tension that's in the hoop, and then your registration will be off and your life will be upset. You'll be awful and you'll be upset, and you'll have to start all over, and you don't want to do that. All right, so let's get into how to use this trimmer by George. I had showed you guys this earlier. Isn't it great? I just rolled my table over here. So this is the trimmer by George. It has a 1/4 inch wide lip. It's aluminum, okay? There are trimmer by George's 1, 2, and 3. And if you have 1 and 2, you're still good to go. These are identical, except for the materials they're made out of. And 3 is a little bit more narrow. It's not the big wide. The other 2 were very wide, okay? Now, I've got the 1/2 inch line right there, so I can see my 1/2 inch seam, and I want that 1/2 inch seam to be right on this when it's time to cut, right on my stitch line right there. So I want to pull it apart. I'm going to continue to use this. This is the Snap Hoop Monster 8x12 for the multi-needle, okay? Also, if you have got regular hoops, they also make pads for the regular hoops. They're just a little bit thinner. So you can do the same thing with a regular hoop. This is the 10x10, all right? And here's the 10x16. They've got them nice and big now for the larger hoops, for those of you with a Luminaire and a Solaris, okay? And then, so that fits right in there. I don't have one of those big hoops here, I don't think. I don't know, I'd have to go digging around. Yeah, I see my big one. So to work the trimmer by George, when you are doing machine embroidery, you are supposed to take the project out of, you're supposed to remove the hoop normally, okay? You tell it to stop, and after the batting is tacked down, you'll remove the hoop and you'll trim around the outside of the batting and just take the batting out of the project, just around the outside of that tack down stitch, okay? So with a trimmer by George, what you do, let me zoom in a little so you can see. Is you take the edge of this and you just lift the top fabric. Just lift the top. So what's left is the batting and the stabilizer, okay? And you're gonna put it right up to the edge like that and hold it at a 90-degree angle so that just the pretty fabric is on top. And then you're gonna fold this over. And this protects the pretty fabric from being cut. Now you have to use the 60mm rotary cutter, all right? If you use, depending on the model of your rotary cutter, if you use the 45, you can't get down in the deep enough because the lip of this is too tall, and this button won't allow the blade to go all the way down and get a good cut. So you have to use this one because it's a little bit taller. This is the sole purpose for my 16mm rotary cutter, okay? You just start back here and just push. All right. And then I open it up and I'm going to put that 1/2 inch line right on that outside stitch line, fold it down, and I'm going to cut again. Whoop, it's wiggling around. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's your seam allowance. And what I end up with on the back is a beautifully cut edge, nice and trim, okay, and a perfect 1/2 inch seam allowance to the outside of the block. This will save you so much time in your embroidery. Now, this one's a little weird because it had stitching from the quilting backdrop. So it kind of stitched to the outside of that. I mean, I just folded it up to the edge of it. It doesn't matter in this case. But look how much quicker this is to trim. I'm just pushing it like that to trim. Make sure this is all pulled out and make sure there's no fabric peeking out. You need to make sure that it's protected. to trim up blocks. Now, if you're doing like a Designs by Juju Christmas tree skirt, you want one of these bad. Anytime you're doing those designs with the multiple blocks in the hoop projects, there we go. And last trim. This is so easy. I would still be trimming around this block in the hoop. And look at this beautiful edge that we got. Isn't that nice? Nice and straight. I cannot do that myself. So in the hoop. So this is it. And this block is finished. And now I'm ready to sew this together because I've got the fourth one done. Okay, so those are all the goodies I wanted to talk to you guys about. And now I want to get to, this is the Shine and Shimmer Vinyl Applique Kit. This is the packaging for the applique. It has the vinyl in it and the metallic threads. And you get a free design in here too if you get this bundle that's from Designs and Machine Embroidery. All right, so lots of goodies there from those guys. All right. Also, for those of you using the metal, let me back out a little bit. Those of you using the metal magnetic frames, the Snap Hoop Monsters, you like my bright light behind me? They have come out with these little clips. And these clips will help hold your stabilizer to the top and bottom edges as you are. I'll show you. Here's a picture right there. See that? Just holds the stabilizer to it. Just makes life a little bit easier. To be able to use these if you need them. Okay, let's get to the embroidery, shall we? All right, so I chose a couple more different thread colors than what they did. They wanted you to have, I'm using 4, they said 3, which is fine. You can always do whatever you want with your threads, okay? So I'm going to do the dog mom and dog dad side by side in the same hoop. Efficient, right? And the thread colors they wanted you to use are a cream, a copper, and a dark brown. So there's my copper. There's my cream. I chose a dark brown to match. What did they call this stuff? Velvet. Hazelnut micro velvet. That's what they called it. Velvet. It ain't velvet, but it's close. Okay. So these match, the thread matches the velvet. That's the base of the paw. And then this is going to be the little toes. So you want to make sure that your fabric matches your velvet. Otherwise, I mean, your thread matches your velvet. Otherwise, your toes will be a different color from your paw because the toes are embroidered. And then this is the bone. And I wanted this copper that'll go around the outside of the bone. And then I just want to be in a different color from those other two. And I chose this. Now, this is a Madeira Poly Neon. So you can mix and match thread brands in your machines. It's perfectly fine. So no problem with that. I did not have a brown in one of those other things. All righty. Let's see here. I love exquisite thread too, Dee Dee, very much. All right. So let me turn Spanky here to get to the back of the machine. And I will show you guys how I change my threads. Just like on my single needle, I keep a little tray and it's got all my scissors and my tools in it. All right. I'm going to be I'm not using this brown that's on here now. I've got 4. So what I do is I take off a spool and I pull it down and give myself some, about a foot, maybe 18 inches from top to bottom and cut. Okay. Whoop. Got hung up on that spool peg. You want to give yourself a little extra room. So you've got room to tie off. Okay. I like to keep black and white on spool 5 and spool 6, just as a rule of thumb, unless I just don't need them for that particular design. Okay. So it does not matter what order you put your spools in. All right. If you just buy the machine and you're just using the designs that are in the machine, it matters because you are, you've got to have it come out like they want. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm going to match these ends up, and just like how I create a loop at the single needle, and I'm just going to, I can't show you guys. You'd have to see it from another video. I'm just tying a single knot with the 2 threads. Nice and tight. Just a single knot. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see a thing. Hold on a second. Oh, where are they at? These will do. I just got some sunglasses with readers in them. Oh, I love them. They're so nice. Okay. So I'm going to hold these 2 tails. I'm going to hold these 2 tails together, right? Kind of twist them so they think they're friends. And then I'm just making a big loop. Hold the loop between my thumb and forefinger. Drop the tails to the back so the tails are going straight down the center of the loop, and grab the tails and pull them through the loop. But you see, you need that extra thread off of the spool you took off, so you've got room to make a loop. If you don't have that extra thread, it's really hard. Okay. All right. You guys, we got a virtual kitchen going on. I think there's lots of spooky things in there. Hit the thumbs up button on your way in if you wouldn't mind. Get some coffee and some goodies for breakfast. Scotty dogs usually run in the kitchen. Okay, so notice I don't need all 10 threads, so I only changed just 4. All the rest of these are from a previous project. I'm going to leave them there until I need to move them, All right. So good. All right. So now let me turn Spanky back around here. Okay. You always want to have a trash can next to your machine. You will have lots and lots of thread. And I'm going to touch the screen to wake it up. Hello. And this is what scared me when I first turned this thing on the first time. Listen. I was like, what is that? Oh my goodness. It does that every time to get itself back to needle number 1, because it'll stop on the last needle that you finished. Okay. And let me see. You've got some glare from this light. I can probably turn that. Nope. I'll just turn it up a little bit. That helps. Okay. That's good. So I only changed spools 1 through 4. There is a little hoop with 2 needles right here and 2 directional arrows. I'm going to tap. I'm going to tell it. Oh no, I told it to retrieve PB. Okay, to cancel. Okay. I'm going to touch my little hoops, and these correspond to the needles on the back of the machine. It's a 1 through 10. Okay. And I need to change number 4. So I'm going to touch number 4. I like to start farthest and come back. And now I'm just going to, let's see here. I'm going to reach down and unthread number 4 and pull it toward me until the knot comes through. There it is. And they have a needle threader button. And then I'm going to pop it under here. It goes under the little needle threader feet and under the finger that sticks out of there. And there's a thread cutter behind right here. And then thread the needle again. There. And now I'm going to go to number 3. Okay. And do the same thing. Pull it through slowly. There we go. And I just like to hold my finger under there. It keeps it from popping out. Number 2. Okay. Pull this down. All right. Needle thread. 2. And number 1. See how easy this is to change these threads? Okay. This is how, if you guys ever see posts from Sunny Fox and she has jars and jars of thread, that's where most of the tails come from. Okay, good. So another thing you've got to do here, sorry about that, is every single day you need to put a drop of oil into here on this machine. Remember I told you it's almost industrial. Okay, here's a standard bobbin. I use Filtech magnetic bobbins. This is what's left from the other day. So I'm going to go ahead. That looks like quite a bit of bobbin thread. I'm just going to leave it in there. Using Filtex, you do not need a check spring in the base of the bobbin case because the magnet is the little black part on that bobbin. That magnet is going to hold the bobbin to the bobbin case. If you don't have a magnet on your bobbin, then you would want to use the check spring that comes in there. It's a bobbin just like what you have on regular sewing machines. So also on this screen, where is it? There's a little oil canister. So I'm going to touch this. And when I hit OK, the hook is going to move. So I'll put you down here where you can see the hook. If you watch real close, I'm going to touch OK. And the hook just moved. And it said, put a drop of oil into the hook. So there's a little finger sticking out right there. I'm just going to put 1 drop in that finger. Okay. And that's good. Uh-oh. About put my oil thing, dropped it way down in there. And I have a little bit of old batting. I'm just going to take a little, I'm just going to dab it just a little bit so that if I have any excess. Now on the back of embroidery projects, it's not that big of a deal because it'll just get on your stabilizer, which is no big deal. All right. So now I'm going to touch OK again, and you'll see the hook move again. There we go. I'm going to pop this back in. That's it. A little bit long tail there. Oh. Okay, we're all done. That's all the prep you have to do for this machine. Alrighty, and on the screen, I'm just going to tell it okay. And I'm done. That's the home screen right there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, story time's absolutely right. You cannot put in a Filtech magnetic bobbin wrong. You just can't do it. All right. Ta-da, Vicky says. That's right. Ta-da. Okay. Let's see here. So now I've got threads in the machine, and what I need to do now is bring up the design. So I sent it over wirelessly yesterday using the Brother Design Database Transfer. I need a sip of coffee. Thumbs up, you guys. Thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Glory, for the cup. So on this machine, you've got designs that are in the machine. When you bought it, you get fonts and frames and monograms and patches and all kinds of stuff. But this right here is a set of buttons that ask you, where do you want to get the design from? Inside the machine from a USB, you could be cabled to your computer. We have the wireless receive, or we've got the cloud right here with the Brother Pocket. So this is the same as like my connection feature. So I'm going to touch that. There are the designs that are there, and here they are. And there are the 2 designs. So I've got one over here on the left and one over here on the right. I have dad and mom, so I can make both at the same time. All right, very cool. I'm going to hit set. Now, this screen right here, it says edit end. So we're in an edit screen. You can change the size. You can rotate them. You can mirror them. You can color sort. You can do all kinds of stuff. I don't want to do a thing because I did all of this stuff in my embroidery software already. The color sorting here is not the same as the color sorting in your embroidery software. Totally different, okay? So there's nothing I need to do here. I'm just going to hit edit end. Now, this is the screen. I'll get in here and show you. This is where you've got a button right here with 3 spools and some arrows. This is where you assign colors. Whoop, I just tapped it. Just like what to the spools on the back of the machine. So let me click OK for a second. If this is grayed out, if you have this button and it's grayed out, you need to go down here into your settings, the little paper, click on your settings, and then I think it's page 8. Is it? Let me click. In your settings, is 7 or 8. Oh, it's 7, page 7. Manual color sequence. Make sure that's on. When you get the machine, a lot of times it is off by default so that it is set to the threads that are in accordance with the designs that were on the machine when you bought it. So you want manual color sequence turned on. I'm going to tell it okay. That makes this button active. And now I can go ahead and assign thread colors based on what's on the back of the machine. Okay. So I'm going to tap that. So again, this is what I'm going to be stitching. These are the color stops. All right. I reduced this by 13 color changes because I color sorted them in my software. And then this is a little preview of what it is that you're about to stitch. You can see I'm going to stitch both of the placement lines. I think I have to put my stabilizer in first. And then these spools right here, 1 through 5, 6 through 10, these buttons correspond to the spools on the back of the machine. We have a hand to tell it to stop. We have a do not stitch button. It looks like a zigzag with a red line through it, and an OK button. All right. So let's see. Okay. Is Callie here? Hi, Callie. Callie is so sweet last night, y'all. She FaceTimed me. She says, Grammy, my machine keeps breaking thread. She's got the Brother NQ3550W. And she's so funny. My first question, have you cleaned the machine? She says, how do I do that? Y'all, I gave her that machine in July, and she's been using it nonstop. So she finally got the plate off the bottom of it. And the screwdriver she had didn't work. So her 8-year-old brother, Aiden, I gave him a Gerber for his birthday. So he had a screwdriver on there. So he, they got the plate off using his screwdriver. So that was huge. And she pulled out wads of fuzz and thread balls and all kinds of stuff. Then she got it to work again, kind of, but then it wasn't picking up the stitches. And so then I showed her how to change the needle. And she got the needle changed, and she's up and running now, I think. Is that right, Kelly? So she's doing great. She was making mug rugs. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to show you guys, since this kit comes with stabilizer, I'm going to show you how I hoop the stabilizer using the Monster Snap Hoop. All right. The great thing about Kimberbell, like I told you yesterday, is every little step, they explain what it is and what you need to do. And so step number 1, right side of fabric. They want fold each of the 2 back fabric pieces in half widthwise, wrong sides together, and press well. And then iron fusible backing to the wrong side of piece 1 fabric and the piece 2 fabric. And I didn't do that. So I got to do that now. So I'm not going to take you guys with me because, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to fuse 1 piece, right? Let's see. Fold each of the 2 backing fabrics, and the backing fabrics needs to be back piece 2 back, 1 4x6 and 2 6x9s. All right. So piece 2 of this fabric shows you right here. Okay. Fabric number 1, piece 1 is 5x6. And then fabric 2, piece 2, 1 4x6, and the back is 2 6x9s. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those. I got a mess on this table, y'all. Woo, goodness. Get all this stuff out of the way. Whoop. I'm going to show you how to hoop using the Monster Snap hoop and also how to hoop using a standard embroidery hoop. Okay. Some of you are brand stinking new. And y'all, if my 10-year-old granddaughter can do this, so can you. Okay. I showed her the Luminaire last night. You can see it sitting right over there. And she looked at it. She said, wow. I said, you're going to get that when I'm dead. My son's always like, Mom. I need a good ruler. Now it has the pieces. Yeah, that'll work. It has the pieces measured out. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't measure them out. And, you know, you can always do that too. So I need 2 6x9 pieces. They give you a full fat quarter in this kit, so you have plenty. I don't want to have my back to you. I've got a cord wrapped around here. There we go. Come on over. Come on over. Let's do this. Get my trimmer by George out of the way. So the 2 6x9s, I'm not going to cut off the selvage. I'm just going to leave it there. And this is a 6-inch wide ruler. And this is 8.5. Not quite big enough. Half of it. So let's do it this way. I know it's big enough now. So 2 6x9s. I'm not going to get all picky about the 6x9. Okay, I'll just have more to trim off, but that's fine. So this is the backing. Let me trim this. Okay. So these are my 2 backing pieces. All right, since I just making them at the same time, I cut them in half. I'll take those over and fold them. And then this needs to be a little 4x6. Okay. Here comes Fredo. She wants to see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to cut on the 4 right there. Again, does not have to be exact. Is that right? How many is that? That is 6 inches, 4x6. And I have all this extra fabric left over. They gave you plenty of fabric. Okay. That's a great little scrap right there. It's perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this. So we only need this little half. She was making a mug rug last night. And I'm supposed to put the fusible woven interfacing on the back of these so that, because we're going to do some heavy fill stitching. All right, so let me run these over here and do this real quick. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm going to get these ironed out so I don't have any creases. The back and the front first. You can certainly put this on before you cut, but this uses less of the fusible interfacing. Kimberbell has a fusible interfacing. You guys be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications because I will be going live at Houston Quilt Festival tomorrow and Saturday. What do we got going on here? I'm going to look at the chat real quick. Let's see. Wonder what would happen if you use non-woven interfacing, Dave? It'll pucker like nobody's business. The non-woven interfacing is very much like, it looks like this, but it's got the bubbles, you know, the glue bubbles on one side, the glue dots. This doesn't have the strength to withstand that back and forth zigzag of a satin stitch or a fill. So it will pucker like crazy. This is not, you don't want that. All righty. This is good. Show you everything. I am. Oh, okay. I will. All right. So, was I supposed to do that to that other fabric first too as well? So they want you to hoop now a medium cutaway. We are on step number 3, hoop a medium cutaway. Okay. So if you have a standard embroidery hoop, this is very easy to do. They give you the medium weight cutaway. You get 2 pieces of it, and I'll use theirs. That's fine. Okay. That's fine. Even though I'm using the monster hoop, I'm going to use theirs. Why not? Brand new to embroidery, loosen up your thumb screw. Your hoop, inner hoop, may have an indicator of which way. I had this in backwards. There's a teeny tiny little arrow up here at the top. That tells me that that's the top of the hoop. So you just place it over it. Okay. You got to make sure you've got plenty of interfacing, hanging or stabilizer on all sides. And then you just put this over it and recess this down in head first. And then the foot, recess it in just like that. And then tighten the thumb screw. Very simple. When you have in the hoop project like this, the digitizer's already decided where center is. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay. I want to use this. So what I'm going to do, y'all, all hoops, they might have a innie and an outie belly button on them, or they might have little arrows that need them to meet up, but all of them will have some sort of indicator. Let me put it this way. All brother hoops will have some sort of indicator of which way is up. Okay. So here's my lower hoop. I'm just going to take this and put it right here, and this one and kind of put it right there, and that works. All right. And when you're using a monster snap hoop, you want to use the corrugated plastic that came with it. I'm just going to put it right here, and I'm just going to stand this up. I can kind of see I've got those little clips in the corners you can use, but they don't, they mess with your stabilizer a little bit. I'm just eyeballing it. I can see through the stabilizer. So I've got it stood up on the end. I'm going to drop it down just like that. And now I'm going to pull this out. I got a nice, pretty, smooth hooping. Okay. Ta-da, right? Okay. There's my pretty quilt. There's my Harley dog. You guys can't see that. Okay. You can put your pictures on here and let your pictures be on there. It's pretty neat. All right. So to hoop this particular hoop, it does not matter which way this goes in. You can do it this way. You can do it this way. Either way works. You just want to make sure that you get the under the clips. There's a couple of clips right there. And there's a hole with a button. You want that to snap in there. Just like that on both sides. Also, a very handy trick is to take a marker. Hold on a second. This is very handy. You want to take a marker or a pen or something. And right here in the outside, I'm going to write front. Because if you ever have to remove the hoop, you want to make sure you put it back correctly. That's a handy little tip. Okay. Okay. So we are ready to get going now, but I need to tell this machine what to stitch and when. So this is the big difference. With a single needle, it stops at every thread color, and on this one, it doesn't. So we've got to think about the construction of an applique project, okay? So for stitch number 1, I'm going to stitch that in, is that right? I needed to hoop this? Yes, it wanted me to hoop it. Okay. They want me to stitch the batting placement line directly onto the stabilizer. So for stitch number 1, it does not matter what thread color I use. So I'm just going to use like spool number 2 so that you can see the stitching on the hoop. And this machine gets loud, but I think the camera has a noise, noise cancellation. So I'm going to tell it to use number 2. Okay. So the 1 changed to a 2 on this spool. Do not worry about the colors on the spools on the screen. All right. I need it to stop before it goes to the next stitch so that I can lay my batting down. So this machine does not read stitch, then stop. It reads from right to left, stop, and then stitch. So I'm going to go to stitch number 2. I want it to stop before it stitches number 2. So I'm going to touch the hand right now and see a little hand popped up right there. And it's going to tell me stop. Let me get in here real close so you can see what I see. There, that's a little better. All right. So it's going to stop and then stitch spool number 2. Okay. Then it's going to stitch the placement lines for the little mug rug. I'm going to go to the next one. Before it stitches this, I need to trim the batting. All right. I'm not going to use the trimmer by George on this one. I don't think I can. I'll trim the batting. I'll take it out and trim the batting and show you guys. I need to trim the batting. So before it stitches, I'm going to put my hand up so that it will stop. And then it's going to trim the batting. Okay. And it's going to make a little line. I'm going through the instructions and it's going to make a little line for the white piece of fabric that needs to go down, which is going to be up here on this side. Okay. And I want to use the cream for that. So that'll be number 1. Let me see. Yep. And then go on down. There's the tack down stitch. Before it stitches, I need it to stop so that I can put the fabric and all that. And I want it to be spool number 1. And then there is the, let's see, this is color stop 5 out of 15. And color stop 5 is to stitch the background tack down line. I need that to stop. And spool number 1. Okay. And then let's see here. There is all of the background quilting. Okay. So you're going to stitch the tack down line. All right. And then it's just going to go and stitch the background quilting. I don't think I need to stop it. I don't need to do anything with it. So that's just going to be spool number 1. So I didn't tell it to stop. Okay. Stitch 7 is the bone placement line for the bone. That's going to be spool number 4. All right. There's the tack down for the bone. Before it does that, I want it to stop so I can lay the pleather down. And I want that to be spool number 4. I hit the down arrow and I get you can move around on these. Okay. There is the final stitching for number 4. Before it does that, I need it to stop so I can trim around the tack down line and I want it to stitch on spool number 4. Number 10 are my letters. I just want to be A. That's going to be spool number. Did that right? Oh, no. Okay. These should have been 3. So you got to pay attention. 3, 3, 3. That's spool number 4. There we go. Easy to recover. You just got to pay attention. And that's going to be spool number 4. Okay. There are my placement line for my little paw pads. That is going to be spool number 2. And there are the tack down for the paw pads. I need it to stop before it does that so that I can set my fabric on there. Spool number 2. There's all the words. Before it does that, I need to be able to trim that velvet away. So I'm going to tell it to stop. Spool number 2. And number 5, that I need it to stop before it stitches that so I can lay my backing fabric over it so that I can turn them, right? Pretty sure. And that is, I'll just do that on number, we'll use spool number 1 for that. Okay, there we go. That's it. That's how you program the machine. So this is just a thing. You think you'd get it mucked up, Carol, but I will tell you, Once you get the hang of it. Another thing you can do is if you pop this into embroidery software, you can print out the color sheet that comes with it. Usually most embroidery software will print a color sheet, and I will take that and I'll just study it, and I'll write notes next to each color stop to tell me what to do following the instructions. And that's a really good way to be able to do that. Okay. So, all right, we are ready to go, you guys. Now, the beauty of this is if I botch this in any way, which I usually do, and it's fine, you can always stop the machine by hitting the red button here. It'll stop. Okay. And then I'm going to tell it okay right now. Okay. It also has, when it gets going, let me touch embroidery. It has a spool with a magic wand right here. Here's your return button. There's your lock. There's your hand to stop if you want to stop it that way. There's a spool with a magic wand that allows you to change color spools on the fly. Here's your needle plus minus, and this is your stitches per minute. You can up and down that. Okay. Now, like I had said on another video, I usually leave the luminaire at 800. Okay. Just because it likes to stitch at 800 stitches per minute, even though that's not the default. This one, I just let it go. It's going to do what it's going to do, and it's fine. Okay. This one behaves much differently. So let's go ahead and get started here. And I'm just going to hit the lock and my button turn green and go. And it is going to stitch down the placement line for the batting. I did not bother to tape these. It gets loud, I know. Isn't that cool? Now it's going to stop because I told it to stop. Okay. You can move this out away from you. There is a table you can put under here for a quilting table. I'm not going to fiddle with all that. I did put some tape. I have my Kimberbell, cute little Kimberbell tape dispenser with my 1-inch paper tape in there. They don't have this color anymore. This was a Bella Box exclusive, but they do have them in orange and maybe another color. And I'm just going to put my tape down and make sure that everything is all covered. My placement line is completely covered. Now you might notice on this machine, the hopping foot goes up and down like this. Whereas on a standard embroidery machine, that foot stays steady and it doesn't hop and you can get caught up underneath. I don't worry about that with this machine. Most of the time I keep an eye on it, but I don't worry about that here because the foot is going up and down and it never has the opportunity to get up underneath something. So I'm just going to tell it now, lock and go. This is, we are on color stop number 2. I'll show you how you can see this. Cranberry red, those are pretty, the tape dispensers. I'll show you what I see. So what I see here, it gives me a preview of what it is. Turn this just a hair. Okay. Gives me a preview of what it is it's stitching. I'm on color stop 2 out of 15. Stitch count 801 out of 29,580. And I'm 2 out of 59 minutes because it's doing 2 at the same time. Okay. Then this tells me what color stop I'm on. I can see the hands. And then these, I don't even pay attention to these, really. It just tells me which needle is being used. Back out. All right, it stopped. Okay, we are on color stop number 3. And I can go to, let's see, it's on back on page 1. All right. So now I need to trim the batting close to the stitch line. So that's going to be not too hard. I'm glad I'm using 2 pieces of batting. If you're doing double like this, it's always helpful to have a little cut in the middle of your batting. Okay. And you want to use your curved scissors to get down in there. My good ones are in Houston right now. So I've got my little ones. They have a little curve. You want to use them flat. Just pick up the edge of the batting and trim as close as possible. You really want to get as close as you can because this, whatever you don't cut, is going to remain in the project. Okay. Just pull up and trim at the same time. Get your coffee out of the way so that you don't. I'm going to minimize my hoop turns as much as possible. Oh, you guys, we had to go over to a friend's house last night. He has terminal cancer, and we went over to say goodbye, and that was very, very hard. Very hard. It's one of Keith's best buddies, one of my best friends, her husband. And I got to tell you, we were pretty bummed out when we got home. And right after we got home, I was working in Brilliance, working on this design. And Callie gave me a video call because of her thread. And you guys, that was such a blessing. I told Keith, I said, one of the best things to heal your soul when you are in despair over a death or an impending death is a child, because they let you know. Okay. My camera was muting the loud embroidery machine. Yes, it does, Brenda. Thank you. Yeah, my camera is doing a noise reduction feature, okay, because this thing is loud. Now, this is why I wrote front on this stabilizer right here, because it'd be very easy for me to put this in upside down, because it's kind of hard to tell unless you're really paying attention that this side is smaller than this side. So writing front on your stabilizer is a good thing. Okay, I won't talk while the machine's doing its thing. So, before I put that back in, I trimmed the batting, okay? And now I need to take my white fabric and place piece 1 right side up, completely covering section 1, which is at the top. So rotary cutter, right? Yeah. I think, is this the right width? Yes, that will work. Okay, barely, but it'll work. Okay. And it wants you to tape it, which I will be happy to do that. A little bit of tape on each piece. Yeah, on this thing, you can touch this, where the button that I push to do the threads, and it has a table move in and out. Isn't that cool? So it'll come out. And I'm going to place this face up over section 1 right here and tape that on. It's very handy if you want to do that. This fabric is directional. So whichever way you want, I don't think it matters. It has a little white on white stripe to it. Okay. So yeah, having a call from a child just made my night. Absolutely. And then you touch the button again. No, tell it okay. And okay. And it'll go back. Here we go. I don't use that button a whole lot. Okay. And I'm just going, now it's, let's see, then what? So I've got that taped. Did I do that correctly? Place piece 1 right side up, completely covering section 1. In the sample, the fabric's directional. The straight lines will run horizontally across the top of the hoop. Well, this is for a standard hoop. Okay. So I'm just going to let it stitch its thing, and I'm going to tell it lock and go. All right, good. Uh-oh, I did that wrong. So I hit that. So the way the design, this is how you can fix this, you guys. So the way the design is in here, I can see in the preview that this is the top of the design. This is the bottom of the design, the way it is in my hoop. And if I look at it, I need to have the brown fabric on top. I need to have that brown fabric on top. So here's how I'm going to fix that. Instead of the white fabric on top, I'm just going to trim it. Again, I love machine embroidery. It's very recoverable. Okay. So this one's fine. I'm just going to move it. That'll be fine. This one, I'm going to get my little Keith Ripper. And what's up? If I wanted to, I could just leave it there and put another piece of fabric right over the top of it if I wanted to. Do I want to do that? These should be as easy to take out as it was to put in. Should be. Okay, there we go. That was easy. Pull that off that. There we go. Okay. Now, let's do that again. Gotta pay attention. So, again, always love this. We're going to go to the needle plus minus. I'm just going to tap that one again. It's going to go back to the start. And it did. Tell it okay. Lock and go. Good. Barry caught that one. That's fine. Kind of missing that. I didn't put it up high enough, which is fine, not a big deal. Oh, that is a placement line for the brown fabric. Okay, I'm just going to leave the tape in there. Let me see. Move that, right? And then this goes face down right here on that line. And this has that woven stabilizer on the back of it. Face down, make sure that's covering on that line. And it wants me to tape just a little bit. I wouldn't really have to, okay? Tape that down. And what I am going to tape down is this piece right here that's sticking up. Okay. and it's going to tack that down. We have a new person. Hi, Aisha. Nice to see you. Now you can trim this off if you want to remove the bulk. But what I got to do now is fold this all over. So let's go over to the table and do that. I'm going to take this tape out of here and off here. Let me see, just like this. And now I'm going to just reuse the tape kind of up here in the corners to hold this nice and taut. Okay, fold that up, crease it with my finger. A little tape there. Get that off. Okay. And now it's going to do the all over background quilting for both of these. Let's turn it out cute. So easy. If you guys want to chat with one another, you can use the @ symbol or the @ symbol above a 2 on a regular keyboard and type in the person's name, and then they will get a little highlight on their computer screen so they know you're talking to them. So now we're ready to do the all over background quilting, and I'm going to let it go. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I use the iron on. Remove the hoop and you can iron. Bye, Peach. Okay, so it has tacked everything down now. And what it's going to do now is just jump straight into doing the background quilting. There it goes. Yep. Bye, Jenny. I think you could make a pillow out of this, yeah. Yes, I did. I bet you that was probably about 6 hours. The total stitch time for the Designs by Juju Believe wall hanging. It took quite a bit of time to do that. I did it on the multi-needle too. Yes, ma'am. We are live until I finish. I don't know how much time is left. I got to do all the embroidery. Elizabeth, I got my sunglasses on Amazon. Oh. Don't sell it. Don't sell it. See, this is why I don't usually use the 10 needle during Embroidery Thursday, because it is such a loud machine. Yeah. I need to add those sunglasses in my Amazon store. I really like them. So here's the placement line for the bone. See how nice it is not to have to change threads? I love it. Absolutely love this. Yeah, you have the Valiant, Joanne. Yeah, great machine. Same machine, different brand. Okay, let me cut this in half here. I'll cut a little piece off. I cut mine into thirds and I'll tape it. Don't really have to on these, but I'm going to. Let me. So I can just tape this right over my bone like that. Very cute. Yeah, this thing is loud, and because of the noise canceling, I can't always be heard. But on Embroidery Thursdays, we usually run long so that I can either finish the project or get to a good stopping point. Okay. I don't know if I like that color. It looks awful red. Oh, it's fine. Going around twice. You are welcome, Elizabeth. Cheap class, Maggie. It's a cheap class. So see how it went around twice? That's to do the tack down, and I told it to stop. All right. Now I can trim away around the bone. I do not recommend cutting these in a multi-needle. A lot of times these are designed to be raw edge applique. Kimberbell didn't do that with this one, but you want to get in there, get that little point off. So just trim around these. If you're going to be doing mug rugs for sale at like a bazaar or something like Callie is, I don't recommend doing mug rugs that have applique on them, okay? You would want to find one, if you had this design, you would want to find one where the bone was all embroidery, because applique really slows you down and it's not worth the time and effort for the money that you're going to make or that people will pay, okay? So doing this, you really, anytime you're going to be doing something at a bazaar, that you're doing for sale, you want it to be as easy as possible, where you don't have I mean, you're still making everything by hand, of course, but as least labor intensive as possible, okay? All right. I love this machine. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite machines that I own. If I did not have single needle embroidery viewers, I would probably only use the multi-needle. Now this multi-needle goes up to a 10 by 14, a 9 by 14 hoop. This is the 8 by 12. I do like the larger hoop on the Luminaire, the 10 by 16, so that if I want to do quilting in the hoop, I can, but I have a long arm. So, there's all of that to consider, right? There, that turned out great. Again, make sure front is in front. So, it's back in. Ooh, it's hot here. All right, and now it's going to do the stitch, the final satin stitch all around the outside. So let's see. I wanted to give you guys. No, I did not use my scan and cut to cut the bones. I could have. Let me move away from the machine a little bit. I don't know that that matters. Why did I choose a 10 needle over a 6 needle? Because most designs use more than 6 needles. It's just efficiency. Cindy, see if you can get a deal at the show. I will tell you though, this machine went up in price. Oh, you can hear me just fine. Good. That's good. Yeah, because I'm using the microphone on the computer, not on the camera now. Okay. So let me see if I've got any questions that I can answer. Let's see. Okay. So I wanted to kind of show you guys, if I can, let me bring up, I'm going to try to bring up in Brilliance, and I want to open the design in USB. Okay. Let me go back here. Let me share my screen. I've never had to take it in for service. This machine has been serviced one time, I think. I had Jason over here for it. And that's what you're seeing, and I don't like that. Hold on a second. Mm-hmm. There, this one. How about that one? There we go. So I want to show you guys how to set up how to do the color sorting. This is in Brilliance Embroidery Essentials. All right. Let me make this just a little bit bigger. And if I click here, you can see, if you look on the highlights, so there is the placement line for the batting, the tack down for the batting, and the center line. All right. So you can see how that's all done. Now, if you look, I don't have the original design. It's on the other computer. Let me see. Is it now? It's going to do. Let's see where we're at. Oh, now it's going to do the final stitching around the other side, right? Yeah. How'd I get it into Embrilliance? I just opened up the CD on my computer and pulled it into Embrilliance that way. You just drag and drop it. Okay. There we go. There we go. So what I ended up doing, if I can find my, so each one of these has its own color stop, and the digitizer makes it its own color stop. But what you have to do is you have to make this, if you're going to do two at a time, you have to make sure that this color and this color are the same for both of them. When you pull them both in, so you actually have a 1 and a 2, because it's two separate designs that I combined into one. I'm trying to, maybe I do have, hold on a second here. Uh-oh, I am out of bobbin. Hold on a second. Let me remove this. I'm out of bobbin thread. Okay, so this is what happens. I'm going to hit cancel on the screen so it stops flashing and you guys don't get a migraine. Okay. Let me back out a little bit. Okay. So on the screen, I know I have a glare there. On the screen, I'm just going to hit lock and scissor, cut the thread. That's to cut the top thread. All right. Just like on a regular machine, regular single needle, remove the hoop. Drop this case open, pull the bobbin out, and you'll notice on these bobbins, it uses every little bit of it. Pull that out. There's my little magnet. Throw that away. Then I'm going to get a new bobbin. And these are Filtech Magnetics. These are in my Amazon store. Okay. And a box will last you a very long time. Let me make sure I can see the end on this one. They're hard to, I see it. Okay. This is what they are right here. If you need to stop the video and take a look at it. Okay. All right. So just like a regular bobbin, take the end. The black part goes toward the metal. Right. And pull the tail up under the check spring, just like a regular sewing machine. Pop that back in. You'll hear it click. This is just like on my PQ 1500. Just like that. Close it up. All done. Okay. Put this back. Front is front. Okay. Now, I'm going to go to needle plus minus. I'm going to back up 10. Let's see, maybe 10 more. Okay. Tell it okay. Lock and go. There we go. So it's starting right before it ran out of bobbin. Perfect. Just like that. Ta-da. These bobbins are, let's see, probably a 70 weight, I would think. It doesn't say the weight of the bobbin. $50 a box, but you get a lot of them. They have them in white and black. You see the black ones right there. Okay. So the black bobbins, I bought those when I was doing OESD's Merry and Bright tiling scene. It was all on black fabric. I didn't want any pokies up through the back. So she lives in Colorado Springs, Bernadette. Did I know I can send the empty magnetic bobbins back for recycling? No, I did not. I'm not going to do that. I don't have time for that. Oh, there's a return label with instructions. Really? Is that what that return label was for? Never thought of it. I didn't have that in my first box. I had a viewer send this to me, and I paid him for it. I paid her for them. But all right, what do we got going on now? Now we are doing the words. See, I didn't have to change threads. The I just want to be a. That's what it's stitching right now. Bye, Karen. Have a good day. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have a return. There wasn't a return label in my black bobbins. Did you see that? All that was in there was the packing material. I don't know if they do that anymore or not. So let's see. Okay, let me take a look at that. I didn't know that. Core return. Thank you for taking the time to save and recycle your empty magnetic bobbins. Details on how you can participate in our free core return program are at the bottom of the box. Every core counts. There's a sticker. How about that? They don't do the labels anymore. Or at the bottom of the box. You made it to Texas, Betsy. Yay. There is. So this one has a FedEx ground package return label in the bottom of the box on that one. Let me look in the black. All right, let's see. Yep, there sure is. There's a return label in the bottom of this one too. How about that? Thank you all. I didn't know that. I guess they reload them. Yep. Your favorite situation day of the week? Yay, Kim. You just put the empty core back in the box. That makes sense. Well, let me dig that one out of my little bin. Let's see. I went through these like crazy when I was making magnets are expensive. Okay. Well, that makes sense. How about that? Thank you all. I learned so much on this channel. Do I ever do freestanding lace on my 10 needle? Yes. Whoops. Hold on. I love this table. This is the Aero cabinet that came with the machine. It is designed for this machine. Okay. I've got tape and my little bins. See, I have lots of little half bobbins in there I use on projects. Okay. You need a table that is sturdy enough to withstand the shake of this machine for sure. My preferred thread brand on the 10 needle is any one that doesn't break. So I'm using Embrilliance Exquisite. I'm sorry, Embrilliance. Dimes Exquisite. I use Isocord and Glide. And right now I'm stitching with Madeira Polyneon. Can I use the magnetic bobbins in the Luminaire? Not these. Not these. I haven't tried any Filtech bobbins. I don't think so. Look at how pretty this stitching is coming out on the letters. Not nice. Hi, Candace. You're not late. Where did I find my 10 new all brands? If you want to get one, though, I've got a link with Sew Machines Plus. I don't have a link with all brands. So, yes, I did move my room around, Betsy. I sure did. Let me show you. So, just for a point of reference, there's Oreo, my cow, way over there. So there's my standard piecing machine now. It is on an angle in the corner. I put my long arm, which used to be, the back of it was against where the ironing station is. Now my long arm is against where the design wall, okay, and my calendar are. Calendar's right over there. There's my calendar right there. I keep track of my year at a glance. So I move that. And then I put the scan and cut cabinet right behind, right to the side of that. All right. And there's my desk. And so now we are over here. This is my fabric wall. And I put Spanky right in front of it. Thumbs up, you guys. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. And I put my 10 needle right in front of my fabric wall. Okay. Oh, the camera fell just as I was oiling. Yeah. When it stops, I can. Actually, I have a video. I have a video on how to oil this machine. What do we see? Oh, now we're doing the lettering on number 2. So she's all, wee, we're going around the room. It does look larger with the long arm move, doesn't it? And this table, I have it over there against really close to my ironing station so that I'm piecing, ironing, and cutting all within the same triangle spot. So now if you were with me when I moved into this room in the beginning, that's where the long arm was in the beginning. Please explain what stabilizer to use so letters don't pucker again. The Golden Bliss, you want to use, this stabilizer came with it. It's a medium weight cutaway. I buy my stabilizers usually by the roll. Okay. This is a medium weight cutaway. Okay. Okay. I need to do some decluttering in here for sure. Hi, Fredo. Fredo, Callie wants to see you. Come here, babe. Come over here. There's my Fredo. You want a little treat? I don't know what I did with them. Hold on. What did I do with your little treats? They're not here? Oh, there they are. I found them. Stay right there. I'm not going anywhere, Fredo. Oh, Fredo, a step on you. Oh, there she is. Callie says, Fredo. Callie, we spell it with a T. Sounds like a D. There she is. Oh, she's so excited. All right. You want to show them a trick? You sit. Okay, we're going to play Leave It. Fredo, leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Ah. No, ma'am. Leave it. You're going to leave it. Oh, leave it. Hold on. Okay. Good girl. We're working on that. Fredo. Yes, that's right, Kelly. She's such a good girl. No more. No, you've already had yours. No more. All gone. Sweet baby. Good. Oh, I just want it. I'll take a head scratch if I can't have another treat. She is a good dog. She's a great dog. Yep. Cindy, you're funny. So I had a whole bunch of Floriani thread, and I tried to use it in here, and Spanky didn't like it. That doesn't mean the thread's no good. Okay. I had a whole bunch of Floriani that came with my Janome MB7. It worked fine in the Janome. Okay. It did not work well in here in this machine. And so I ended up selling it. So yeah, she's a good dog. I know, Callie. She's a great dog. We're going to bring her with us when we come up to visit you next July. So we love our Fredo time. Yeah, I know. Snoopy and Abby look forward to seeing her every morning. Well, good, Peggy. It is so cute. You guys send me pictures of your dogs watching my dog on TV. Yeah, you'll get to meet Fredo when we come up there in July. That'll be fun. She's a great traveler. Almost finished with this particular part of it. So, but yeah, I took all my Floriani thread and I put it into a big box bundle. It was a bunch of thread. And I put it on our store site for like $1 a spool, $1.50 a spool maybe, and sold it all to some lucky person I told him, I said, I've got this Floriani and it's on sale. It was gone in a minute. So your Solaris likes it. Okay. Yeah. But that's a single needle. It behaves differently than the multi-needle. So, oh yeah. So Patty, I will show you. Have I used Kingstar? Yes. All of the metallic in here. I finished this yesterday. All of the metallic threads, like see all the gold on there, and the outline of all the trees are Kingstar. What are we doing now? We are doing placement line for the velvet for the paw pads. Okay. So all of that trim on that tree, all of the stars, and all of the tree outlines, satin stitches are Kingstar. And I'll let you see the back and see how beautiful they stitched. That's a really, really nice stitch. On most embroidery machines, you should have more bobbin thread than top thread showing on the back. Okay. If you are doing freestanding lace, I've done that many times on this machine. You just want to make sure that I just use my standard embroidery thread and make my own bobbins. Okay. And put them in here. And it works just fine. All right. Thank you, Betsy. Okay. Needs some tape to put down the velvet. Let's see. I'll do it here and here. And let's move this. I'm just going to put this on here. See, so I was able to program the machine. Now this has a nap. I don't think it matters. But I was able to program the machine to tell it when to stop so that I could do my applique parts. And that's the big trick to doing these particular projects. Okay. Is just wrapping your head around how these things think. All right. Now it's going to do the tack down. Yeah, this is a cute little project. I'm really, you're late today. That's okay. Do I slow it down? I do. When I do freestanding lace, I do slow it down. There's a table available attached to the front. Yes. I have it. I love it, Patsy. I do. It's a Christmas present, okay? I'll show it to you guys when we get done here, just real quick. Let's see. I know what I need to do here. I gotta cut 2 more 6x9 pieces. That's what was going on. I was lost. I was like, what is going on here? 6x9. Okay, I am going to go over to the ironing board and iron. Where are we at? Oh no, I'm going to trim those right now. And it stopped so I can trim them. Just got to kind of think about the process of applique is how you do this. Is you just think, okay, the machine needs to stop so that I can place the fabric over the applique placement line. And then it needs to stitch the placement line. Then I want it to stop so that it can allow me the opportunity, stitch the placement line, and then I need to put the fabric over that, and then it's going to stitch the tack down. And then after that, I need it to stop so that I can trim away around the tack down line, which is what I'm doing right now. So again, where a single needle stops on every color stop, on the multi-needle, if I didn't tell it to stop, it would just keep on going. So I had mentioned at the beginning, if you were late, sometimes it's helpful to print out the color charts in embroidery software. You can import the design into your embroidery software, and then you can print out the color chart for it. And then when you print that, you can make notes on the color chart for yourself to kind of think about. You sit and stare at it and study it for a second and go, okay, this is placement line. After the placement line, I need it to stop, and I'll make a big star next to the next stitch that tells me to put a stop into the machine. Okay. So you just have to kind of think like an embroidery machine. All right, there we go. I think that'll work. It's not perfect, doesn't have to be. It's going to have satin stitches around it. Okay. I love glide thread too. It's nice. Again, I wrote front on the front. This hoop goes in either direction. It's really easy to forget. So I like to write front with a pen or a marker on there. Okay. I am going to go. Have I tried using, let me see here, a quilt backing sandwich when doing applique and embroidery on Spanky? No, I have not. I don't think. Okay. It's going to do, oh, now it's going to do all the little toes and all of the other stitching. All right. I'm going to go do some ironing real quick. I'll be right back. what I was doing here was ironing my 2 pieces of fabric. You want to take your backing pieces. You want to take your backing pieces, fold them in half, wrong sides together. Okay. These are big. This is more the right size of it right here. Okay. So these are folded together. This is going to be an envelope back for the mug rug. Keith's quilt is he's done with his part. I need to square it up, and then I need to, I'm going to give him the binding and let him bind it. I'm not doing that. So, does Callie tell you guys she has a doodle? Doodle, her groomer's job security. My repair guy tells me that, sticky back, stabilizer, and cheap thread are his job security. Is it possible to do these mug rugs with snap applique? Seems like it would save some time. So not snap applique, but to pre-cut things on the scan and cut, right? Seems like it would save time. You can. These are such small little pieces, it really wasn't. So it's less time for me to trim around those little bits than it is to put it in the scan and cut, put the heat and bond on the back of the fabric, get it in there, make sure the rotary blade's on, set it all up to get, it's just easier to do it. I kind of weigh the time of how much of each one. Okay. So I use snap applique when I don't have an embroidery pattern to start with. This pattern was already digitized by Kimberbell, so I didn't have to worry about that, okay? The only time I use the snap applique method is if I don't have an embroidery pattern at all. It's a quilt pattern for applique, and I want to create those shapes. So, all right. He does have his next quilt project picked out. It is the Buck from Legit Kits, yes. And he wants to do that. I think the plan is for him to donate that to the same 4-H FFA benefit that we did, where I auctioned off my American Pie quilt. I think that Buck would look fantastic in a hunting lodge. Wouldn't that be cool? Or hanging over a bed of somebody who's a big hunter. I think that would look really cool. So, all righty. Turning out adorbs, you guys. Okay, now it's going to stitch on that little pleather. This is going to be the word dog. So it's doing one at a time. So see how it did these toes and doing this, and then it'll jump out here. It'll do more lettering. I think it'll finish this one, and then it'll come here. Let's see. It was so cute last night. Callie's little brother, he's 8. He got the phone down in front of Sophie the Doodle. She's looking at me. It's very cute. Okay, so let's see things I can do here. We've got a lot of stitching to go. I need to do some clean out. Okay. So Dime makes these little boxes. You know what? I need a trash can. I need probably a pretty big trash can. Oh, I'll use this little one right now. Let's see. In here I have a small pop-up refill. This is not where this goes. These are those spring cans. So, oh, okay. Carolyn. So Carolyn says that Callie's going to be sending photos from her event on Saturday, and y'all want to see them. All right. I'll be sure to share them with you. I told him you need to put her in the booth. She's going to be selling at a bazaar. And they need to put her in the booth with the machine and show her stitching. And that will sell everything she's got. So these make that look, those little Springfield trash cans. I like those. So, matter of fact, speaking of which, it's the last day of the month. I think I can show you guys the sampler box. That might be cool. Okay. You get all mixed up with stabilizers. Janie, you need the embroiderer's compass, and that will tell you exactly what stabilizer you need and when you would want to use it. Okay. So I've got just a pile of stabilizers in here. I've got a big mess on my table. It's making me kind of itchy. Makes me itchy. So Dime makes these boxes, and I really like these. I labeled them. This is sticky back. I don't like to use it, but I have it. And it has a nice little cutter across the top. So just kind of like what they have on those food saver bag things. See? You can just start it, give it some tension, and cut what you need. Very handy. Okay. So these are nice. They've got them in this size, and they have them in the long size too. For the 15-inch roll. So you can put a 12-inch roll or a 15-inch roll in these boxes. So those are nice. And then I have standard easy to tear. I have some stabilizers in here. I got these on the Sew and Sale cruise. Anthony, who works with Jamie on Sew and Sale, has a stabilizer company, and he wanted me to try them out. I haven't used them. I forgot I had them, to be honest. So this is Kimberbell light mesh cutaway. Got a roll of that in here. So I've got some stabilizer pieces. This needs cleaned out. Terrible. These are from Designs and Machine Embroidery. I've got a link to Dime below in the description box, and if you start on my link and go over there and go shop, it helps out my family business, if you wouldn't mind. So you can put these big long rolls in here. Okay, and they're kind of a upside down fill. It's like a shoebox type thing. So then you take this roll. This actually goes in here. And this will also, I think will this fit the long? Yep, that fits the, this is 19 by 6.85, fits in there. Very nice. So you drop this in. Just drop that in there. And pull it through. And then put the bottom on. I couldn't get it in there. I got to fiddle with it. That's how you do that. I have a roll of water-soluble Super Solvy. So Super Solvy is what you use for like freestanding lace. Okay. I think this is, nope, this is not Super Solvy. This is standard Solvy. It's in the wrong package. This is a topper. This feels like Glad Press and Seal, but it's water soluble. So if you're going to be stitching on, I put my scraps in there. If you're going to be stitching on towels, you want to put this on top of your embroidery, and it prevents the stitches from being buried down inside the nap. Guidelines for quilters to hold big rulers together. Okay, and more scraps of stuff. So I think this one I even stitched on. Yeah, I stitched on this, and it doesn't matter. I saved it. I ended up not using it for whatever reason. So I just save these scraps. I'll also sew them together sometimes. My repair guide does not like sticky back stabilizer because your needle can push it down into the casing, especially on a multi-needle. Okay, so Debbie says the stabilizer we got on the cruise is amazing. So this is Star Standard brand. That's the label of it. I don't know if it's available commercially yet. He's got there's a water soluble. It says dissolve on it. It's a fibrous water soluble. You can also use Pellon's 541 Wash and Gone. You can get that at Walmart. And then I have these little magnet thingies. They're designed to go around stabilizer or whatever, a fabric bundle. Okay. So let's put these back in here. Just wanted to see what I had. I got fabric on the other side of the cubby. Okay. These here. All right. And this does not go here. It doesn't go with my stabilizers. It goes with my rulers. This is a guidelines for quilting little suction cup thing to put two rulers together to make them really long if you need them. The sparkle vinyl kit from Dime. What was that? You can get Shimmer and Shine from Designs and Machine Embroidery. It comes with glitter vinyl and matching metallic threads. Okay. My cutting table, my husband made that for me. And I've got fabric in here that probably could go in other places. Oh, be sure to join us tomorrow. We're going to do Giveaway Friday. And I've got a cool thing to give you guys. You found me on Facebook? No, I don't accept personal friend requests on Facebook. I don't do that. The boxes are from Designs and Machine Embroidery. I'll show you guys let me show you where you get them. So one of the best ways to help me if you're going to be shopping for embroidery stuff, let me pull up my blog. All right. My blog is powertoolswiththread.com. I can jump to that. And let's one of the best ways to find stuff. Let me share my screen on my blog. Okay, so here's my blog. And this is where you can find my schedule at Quilt Festival where I will be. Okay, but right here, there is a link to Embrilliance. And right here is a link to Designs and Machine Embroidery. And here is a link to my Amazon store. So you can find all of that. But if you come up here, we've got shop PTWT links. And when you click on that, this is where you can get, I have some vendors that I work with that do permanent discount codes for my viewers. So here you can use this code for 10% off, all about blanks. There's my Amazon store again. Amy Bradley Designs, you can get 10% off all Amy Bradley Designs applique quilting patterns. Here's my Power Tools with Thread merchandise, my shirts. PTWT 15 for 15% off. Connecting Threads, Designs by Juju, all of that, okay? So when you click on these and you start shopping here, that helps out my family business for affiliate marketing. I make a commission on these that you, when you click on these. I have to be upfront about that. The FCC makes me say that. So Tights gives my viewers 15% off, and Yazzie Bags gives my viewers 10% off. Okay, So let me show you on my Amazon. You can go to my Amazon store. Okay. And here we go. I have things in my RV, my embroidery favorites, computers and technology, my quilting favorites, that table's in my RV, scan and cut favorites, travel favorites, and my chicken supplies. But if you go to my embroidery favorites, whoop, hold on, wrong thing. Now this Embrilliance, whoop, hold on a second. This Embrilliance right here, these will ship you a CD if you want to do the download. So if you buy Embrilliance off of Amazon, you're going to get a CD. If you buy Embrilliance from my blog, you're going to get an instant download. And I prefer that, but it's completely up to you. So let's see what we've got in here. There is my Heat and Bond light I like on the scan and cut as well. Tapes, cards. These are the trays I have for my threads on the wall. There are the Filtech bobbins. Woo, they went up. Wow. Needles, Ackfeld wire, all of this stuff. So when you click on these things, that's the detail. Or you can just, here's that Stitch Witchery I like to use. You can click on it. It'll jump you into Amazon and off you go. So these are things I have purchased and that I like and I use and I recommend. Okay. So I just want to show you that. Okay. And stop screen. There we go. Oh, my screen wasn't changing. Sorry about that. Sometimes StreamYard only lets me show one thing, and if it jumps into a new page, it won't show it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so my birthday is coming up, and I bought a new bathtub. I did end up getting a jacuzzi bathtub. I had said the other day I had a sales guy coming over. It was expensive, but it was also, you know, it's an improvement to the home. So you kind of do that. The boxes are from Designs and Machine Embroidery, dime. Yep. Everything's going up except wages. I know. Woo. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was a pop-up. I apologize. So it's going to have the jets in it. It does not have an inline heater because I don't have the room for it in my setup. And the walls are a surround. It's going to be a white subway tile, 3x6 subway tile, all the way up to the ceiling. So thought I was looking a little dirty. Yeah. So, you know, I don't really need the inline heater. I have a ginormous water heater. So I've got plenty of hot water, and we just have to talk to a guy to come and run the electric for it. And that's it. So I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah. Jacuzzi's the best. Lifetime warranty. So good. Yeah, Betsy. Your comment, Betsy, when you told me that you had one before and I love it and you loved it, that's kind of what made me, yeah. Woo! Lots of stitching, right? And then the plan next year is to put in a walk-in shower in the other bathroom. It'll be a little bit bigger tray than we have now with a lip. You know, they have like a tall lip on them. You just step over that. So they said 6 to 8 weeks because they don't keep them in the warehouse. So they actually build them when you order them. And that prevents parts from sitting around and deteriorating while, you know, they're sitting in the warehouse and somebody might not buy them. So even little techniques. Well, good, Mary. I'm glad you enjoy learning every day. Good. Yep. Oh, let's see. We are almost finished. I'm working on the G here for the dog and the second one. This is turning out really cute. I am a Scorpio. Yes, Ruth. Yes. My birthday's in about 2 weeks. Okay. We're getting there. So this is really nice. And not only not having to change threads, the speed of the machine, everything just flows. You guys see, other than changing a bobbin, I've had no drama with this stitch out at all. Fellow Scorpio, well, good. Happy early birthday, Ruth. That's great. Oh, yours is tomorrow. Awesome, Robin. Yep. Oh, Elaine. Catherine Lee model starts Monday. Well, we got lots of Scorpios in here. How about that? You guys must like my style and you just kind of relate to it, right? Tell it like it is. Yeah. So, yeah, mine's the 14th. I'm right in the middle. So. My daughter-in-law's birthday, my son's wife, her birthday's the day before mine. Yeah. Yours is in 3 weeks. Jane, are you Scorpio or Sagittarius? Or are you on the cusp? I think you're probably on the cusp. Happy birthday, Scorpios. Yeah, I told him, I said, you bought me a new bathtub for my birthday. But we really enjoyed our sales guy. He was a Christian and not shy about his faith, which was very nice. And he was so nice, I invited him to stay for lunch because he was supposed to be here 90 minutes and he ended up staying for 3, almost 4 hours talking about the build and, Keith and him negotiating the numbers, all of that. Ah, okay, Carolyn, that's a good idea. That's a good point. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we had a friend who built their forever home and all of their doorways were wide enough for the wheelchairs, roll-in shower, whole 9 yards. Yeah, they did that. I don't know if we've got the space for that or not. I imagine so. Well, there's so many Scorpios because Valentine's Day was 9 months prior, right? I'm to the day, the 14th. I don't think there's a bus, Betsy, from Mont Bellevue. You might call around to the local quilt shop. Bonnie Cohn will know if she's on here this morning or not. But you've got her phone number, I think. You can text her, Betsy, to see if there's a bus go. I know she's going today and tomorrow. So, Betsy, you were born on February 14th. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, my friend whose house we went to yesterday with her husband, who is terminally ill, they also had that idea with the wide roll-in shower and everything. But it's almost like a separate room. You kind of drive around through it, Non-skid floor is a must. Yeah. Have you fallen, Vicki? It's frightening. So. Oh, picking up your feet to enter the shower. Yeah, that's tough. I know. So as you can see, I made 2 of these at one time. I love to be efficient when I embroider, so I'm getting both of them done all at once. It is twice the time because you're doing twice the stitching, but it's not as much time as if you were doing them one at a time, one after the other. It's more efficient. So, yeah. You fell. Yeah, it's frightening to fall. Well, I got thread and so now these are little pieces of stabilizer that I will stitch together with my domestic machine. Okay. Like this. I'll sew these all together. And I usually use a really wide zigzag, or some machines have what's called a join stitch. And when I put these together, I just overlap them one time. I don't sew them together like quilt fabric, where you put them right sides together and then fold it open and have a seam. I just do an overlap, almost like the first step of a flat felled seam type thing. So I'll stitch these together and make more stabilizer. Okay. Oh, that's interesting, Sandra. Thank you. We just have a regular rubber one in when we pull it up, it's got the little suction cups on the bottom. We use that. Okay, so what else was there here? This is a quilt I made. It's a pattern by Doug Lako. I did see him at market, but I didn't stop and visit with him. I'm going to donate this to my DAR chapter. It's a panel quilt, kind of made like a log cabin. Let's see. Where's the top? Where's the bottom? Yeah. So it's got little panels. And this is a beautiful scene right here. Isn't that pretty? This is probably about 4 or 5 years old. And it's just, like I said, it's like a panel quilt, and it's made kind of on the concept of log cabin quilt blocks. And let's see, I got a big mess right there. Here's the backing. That is the final stitch for our envelope backing. Awesome. So I am donating this. They send quilts every year to American Indian schools. Okay. So now I think I'm going to pull this out and put these on and tape them over on the table. I'll take you guys with me. Look at how cute that turned out. Isn't that adorable? Really nice. It takes just as long, really, to do. It takes less time to do 2 using this method than it does to do them one at a time. What did I do? I just had my backing fabrics folded. Oh, there they are. I put them over there on that table. And I need my tape. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one over like this, making sure I can see the outline edges and that they're covered. I'll put one over there. And this one, let's see. Just make sure they're covered completely. Whoop. I'll do like that. And you want to overlap them just a little bit. Now, if you're doing this on a single needle, you want to take your tape and you want to put the tape horizontally over this overlapped edge, the lapped edge. Put it over there horizontally, not vertically, so that you can make sure that that foot is not going to get caught up underneath, because it's going to go around more than once. All right. But I tape mine now on a regular machine like this. On these multi-needles, you don't necessarily have to do that. I'm going to make sure I've got plenty of overlap. Whoop, I'm going to do my tall one first. You want the fold to the center. Okay. And my selvage part, I'm going to put to the inside so that it will get cut off, or no, let's see, this is going to the inside because it gets turned. Let me make sure, yeah, that's right. I want to just keep it taut right up on here. Tape, 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 tape. Awesome. All right, now it's ready to go back in for the final stitching. 2.5 hours, you guys. My goodness. There we go. Bye-bye, gotta go. All right, see ya. Thanks for staying. Give a thumbs up, subscribe. See, it goes around twice. Woo, barely made that fabric on that one. And the sound we all love. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. All finished. Okay. This has been so much fun. I know you guys, I appreciate those of you who have stuck around. This is a long one, wasn't it? Okay. So now I'm going to freehand this. You guys can use a ruler if you want to. Let's see, where's my ruler? You can use just a standard ruler. And just give yourself, 1/4 inch, 3/8, something like that. Trim around the outside. Okay. If you want to freehand it, you can. You can use scissors, whichever you want. Okay. Go. And I'm going to cut these up. Okay. Take off my tape. You don't have to pull the tape out of the seam allowance. You can take it out if you want. Doesn't matter. You won't see it. Okay. All right, now we're ready to flip. Oh, and take your rotary cutter and trim your corners out of 45 to reduce bulk. Okay. I'm just getting like 1/8 of an inch away from the corner stitch. Okay. And then I put my finger in there and just push that point out. Pull half of it through. Oh, how cute. Boy, that was stitch intensive, wasn't it? Would have been half the time if I was just making one, but I wanted one for both Keith and I just can't do things one at a time. It's just not in my nature. Awesome. All right, you can use a chopstick or the stick that comes in the, where's my little scissors? The stick that comes in a polyfill bag. Okay. And you can use, or a purple fang, whichever. And you can push your points out. That works really well. Just get in there. Get your corners out nice and pretty. And if you want to iron it, you want to make sure that you iron it so that your seams are to the back. Okay, so you don't have your backing fabric poking up through the front. You want to iron that down. So you can kind of roll it a little bit with your hands and roll that seam and then iron it so that you don't have this. Okay, you don't want that. Let me get the lighting right here so you can see. So that you don't have this fabric showing from the front. You want to be able to roll it back a little bit and then press that way so that it's all like that. Look at how cute that turned out. Oh my gosh, this is adorable. This was fun. I enjoyed this. It turned out adorable. So, all right. So we had Embroidery Thursday on the multi-needle, and I showed you how to do 2 at a time using the color sort feature. I have videos on how to do color sort in Brilliance. If you are interested in learning how to do that, it's a very, very handy feature to do. I had done color sorting. I did 4 freestanding lace bookmarks at one time, and color sorting was wonderful to be able to do that. But this turned out just adorable. I want to thank Kimberbell for providing this kit to me to share with you guys and show you how to do this. Best instructions in the industry, and this was a lot of fun. I've got a link to this kit below if you would like to make it. Again, you won't have to pre-program a single needle machine if that's what you've got, but I showed you how to pre-program a multi-needle. Well, this has been fun. We are on our way to Houston today and heading back over there, and I will hopefully see as many of you as possible Friday and Saturday at the Houston Quilt Festival. I've got a schedule my schedule of where I will be and when. Between, I think it's 10:30 and 3 is when you can catch me, okay, on Saturday and Sunday. I love you guys. This has been a lot of fun. Callie, I love you, sweet baby girl, and I will talk to you guys later. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and go sew something. Bye.